Man killed during alleged shootout with cops at Hunts Bay Station. A man is dead and his accomplice escaped injury during an armed confrontation with law enforcement on Saturday night at the Hunts Bay Police Station in St. Andrew. According to Senior Superintendent of Police Kirk Ricketts, head of the St. Andrew South Police Division, 2 men were spotted on the roof of the Hunts Bay lockup around 11:40 p.m. Police attempted to detain the men, but none of them opened fire at the officers. The police took necessary evasive measures, returned fire, and at the end of the melee, it was discovered that one of the 2 men was suffering from gunshot injuries. The other man escaped, SSP Ricketts told reporters. The superintendent said the police believe the men were attempting to smuggle contraband into the police lockup. We believe that this was an attempt by these culprits to introduce contraband to the lockups. We have noticed an increased discovery of contraband within our lockups recently. We do know that we have some vulnerabilities towards the rear of the premises, and as such, we have increased our presence. Our increased patrolling of the space uncovered this attempt last night, SSP Ricketts further explained. A Glock pistol was recovered from the deceased man, police stated. The identities of the men have not been released. 4 men killed in Trelawney crash. 4 men died in a motor vehicle crash on the North Coast Highway in the vicinity of Danieltown in Trelawney on Sunday morning. They are 23-year-old fisherman Kimani Thompson, 24-year-old photographer Andrea Gonzalez, 25-year-old lifeguard Jason Reed, all of Falmouth, Trelawney, and 24-year-old Marco Williams of Pimento Walk, Ochara, St. Anne. Head of the Police, Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary McKenzie, said the crash happened at around 2:15. He said the crash involved a Toyota Mark X and an Audi motor car. ACP McKenzie said the 4 men in the Toyota Mark X died, while the occupants of the Audi were admitted in hospital. He said police are investigating whether or not one of the drivers of the vehicles disobeyed the traffic signal at the intersection. Noting that the crash appears to be linked to speeding, ACP McKenzie pleaded with motorists to drive carefully.
So the information that we have gathered is that about 2:15 a.m. today's date, there was a crash along the North Coast Highway in the vicinity, right where it intersects Daniel Town. And what we gather is that a Mark X motor car was traveling westerly along the North Coast Main Road. And when it reached to the intersection of North Coast Highway and Daniel Town, the motor car was approaching in the opposite direction and a crash occurred at the intersection. It appears that it is a crash, it is a turning crash. However, we have not gathered all the evidence surrounding it as yet. Unfortunately though, 4 males who were traveling in the Mark X motor car, they died as a result of the crash because the Mark X motor car on the colliding with the Audi motor car, it was displaced further left, made contact with a guardrail and crashed in an embankment. There was a male and a female reportedly traveling in the Audi motor car. They were injured and were taken to the hospital and are receiving treatment. I must say that this intersection is controlled by traffic lights, so the investigation has to surround how the light itself was working at the time and whether or not any one of the parties were not in conformity with the signal at that particular time. Based on the nature of the crash, it is really what I would say is a high-speed crash. And so it is very important for us to recognize that when we have crashes and persons are traveling at high speed, chances are persons will suffer fatal injuries.
PM announces plans to build 2-story market building in Highgate, St. Mary. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced plans to build a new 2-story building in Highgate, St. Mary while campaigning for the upcoming local government election. While addressing a crowd of supporters on Saturday, Holness said, modern market level and on the top floor now, we'll have space for more shopping, so we are spending on your local township because we see what is happening. He added that there is a lot of business here, but it is not convenient, it is congested. Sometimes the town looks dirty, sometimes you don't feel safe. A lot of the things are old and need to be repaired, so the government has to come in now and make the investment, which is what we are going to do with your new market. He went on to advise the residents of Highgate to not watch the negative things being said in the public sphere, but instead, they should pay keen attention to the policies of the government. The Prime Minister also announced that the government has allocated $20 million to repair local roads, including the roads in Highgate Division. If you look at the destruction and the duplication of the infrastructure of Jamaica over the last 40 years, you will see that it is the Jamaica Labour Party that has started to rebuild and build new infrastructure. Take it as I tell you, the amount of new highway that we have built, the amount of new roads that we have built, the Jamaica Labour Party is committed to building the infrastructure of Jamaica, including the roads Holness stated. PNP promises reduce congestion and cleaner towns if discontrolled municipal corporations. The People's National Party PNP has promised reduce congestion and cleaner towns if it gains control of the municipal corporations across the country. The statement was made by PNP councillor candidate for the Hayes Division in Clarendon, Stian Barneswell, in the second and final debate ahead of the local government election. Mr. Barneswell urged citizens to imagine what the country would be like if this was a reality. He said the PNP will also ensure that the mayors and councillors are held accountable for performing their duties.
Imagine, just imagine, walking through the town of Maypen, no garbage pile, street light bright, drains clean, no congestion. That could be your reality with the People's National Party-led municipal corporation. Time come for change. Change for citizens' participation, healthy society, access to critical services, new vision for local government, garbage collection, economic opportunities for all. Local government is the fiber for Jamaicans. It impacts on your life. And with the People's National Party-led municipal corporation, we will ensure that you get quality service delivery. We'll make sure that our councillors and mayors are accountable in the way in which they perform. We will make sure that there's transparency in how your money is being spent.
JLP seeks to retain control of the municipal corporations based on the performance that the PNP has found wanting. The governing Jamaica Labour Party is looking to retain the majority of the municipal corporations on the back of what it says is its record of performance, while the opposition People's National Party is looking to wrestle control of the corporations from the JLP by boring holes into their claims. Representatives of both parties made the case as to why their party should be given the nod during Saturday night's second and final debate dealing with local government issues ahead of the February 26 local government election. In his closing statement, the incumbent mayor of Kingston and chairman of Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, representing the JLP, Deborah Williams, said, "We stand here committed to our purpose and committed to make local government the best it can be. We represent a team of local government representatives who are dedicated to the betterment and improvement of the quality of life of our citizens." Williams said the JLP has a track record that speaks for itself and went on to list what he says were notable achievements on his parties, including over 220,000 Jamaicans now have access to clean water where they previously had none, with thousands more to benefit as the government continues to roll out its pipeline extension project. The JLP has repaired over 2,500 roads island-wide, with another 2,000 roadways to be added under the $40 billion Spark program. Over 64,000 young people have been employed under the Youth Employment Program. The JLP has constructed over 200 houses under the Social Housing Program, with over 500 more to be built in the upcoming fiscal year for the start of April 1. The JLP has purchased over 100 trucks for the National Solid Waste Management Authority. For its part, the PNP played up its election slogan, "Time Come," during its closing argument, as the party representative, Cadian Harty, listed reasons why the JLP should not retain control of a majority of the municipal corporations after the election. Harty, who will be contesting the Claremont Division in St. Anne Municipal Corporation on the party's behalf, said, "It is good when people believe in their leaders, but it is even better when leaders believe in their people." She continued with, "We believe in your Jamaica, your capacity, your dream, your hopes, your aspirations." Harty said local government and community development is about a country's most significant resource, its people. She argued that despite the Jamaica Labour Party has tried to present to you tonight, ask yourself, are you seeing and feeling this development they currently boast about? Harty then listed the reasons why the JLP should not retain control of the parish councils, including vertical road network, it is at its worst, Markets are filthy and lack of necessary sanitary convenience despite being a major economic hub in most communities. Many communities in 2024 are still relying on catchment tanks and the chugs of water as their main source of potable water. Communities are dark and lack street lights and are a haven for crime and violence that have also spiraled under the Jamaica Labour Party government. Stating that your tax dollars are being used and abused, Harty said time come for change. She said the PNP was dedicated to transforming local government with dedicated and competent representatives and a local authority that is centered around you. Vote for change, vote for citizen participation, healthy communities, access to critical services, new and innovative thinking, proper garbage collection and economic development, Harty urged as she looked into the camera. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie and candidate Richard Vernon also represented the Jamaica Labour Party during the debate, while Harty was joined by the PNP side by candidates Sion Barneswell and Andrew Swaby. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.